Hey there, web enthusiasts! Ever felt frustrated when a website looks great on your computer but becomes a jumbled mess on your phone? Well, say goodbye to those days. In this tutorial, we're going to build a website that not only looks great on large screens, but also looks amazing on smaller screens, such as on your phone and tablet. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create a mobile-first responsive website from the ground up. Use HTML5 for a solid structure. Style your site with CSS3, including Flexbox and media queries. Add some interactive elements with JavaScript. Ensure your site looks great on any device, from smartphones to widescreen monitors. I'm Gustavo Amezcua, and I've been in the trenches of web development for years. As a full-stack developer with experience at companies like Ascent Funding and the National Conflict Resolution Center, I've created everything from e-commerce platforms to nonprofit websites. I've honed my skills in front-end technologies, SEO, and digital marketing, so you can trust that the techniques I'm about to show you are battle-tested and industry-approved. So, are you ready to create websites that look fantastic on any screen size? Let's dive in and start building.
Okay, so this is going to be a series of videos on how to create a website starting mobile first. So a mobile first responsive website we're going to build, and this is part one of the series. So we're going to start with the header section. Now let me show you the website I found. It's this one, and I'll add the link to the this website in the description of this video, and to the rest of the series as well. The parts of because we can't. Just creating this whole website would take too long in one video, so we're going to do this in parts. And let's start with the header section. So this is a fully functional website we're trying to replicate. I do not own it at all. It's from, like I said, themeforest.com. I'll add the link to the actual web page or website to the description of this video, and it's made by Canvas Inc. So I do not own it at all. We're going to use it for learning purposes. So let's start with the header section. Now, what I do is what I've done is opened. I created a folder called responsive website, and we already have some files. We have the assets folder, which contains the CSS folder, the images folder. The CSS folder has the reset.css file and the styles.css file. Let's delete all this so I could show you right from the start how we're going to build this. And then in the images folders, we're going to hold the images, but in reality, I think we're just going to add the links from each image into the HTML file, which is called index.html, which I opened right here. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is find a template, the starting structure of any website. Let's search for Bootstrap HTML starter template, and it's the second option. I like to use this one. Copy to clipboard, paste it. Let's delete all the optional JavaScript. Let's change this to soccer website. Let's delete the Bootstrap CSS. Delete this H1 heading. Let's add the link element, which I totally forgot. You have it right here. Let's copy it right here. It's going to be a style sheet, obviously. We're going to link to it. The first one we're going to link to is the reset.css file, which is inside of the assets folder, CSS folder, and reset.css. Then we're going to copy and paste for the styles. That's where we're going to add all our styling. For the resets.css file, reset CSS, that's what we're going to search for. I'm going to use this first option. So this is very important because each browser such as Opera, Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, they all add their own stylings, which we need to remove. That's done. Let's close this, and we're just gonna look at this design. So let's begin by adding the header element. And then inside that, we're gonna add the div, a div element. We're gonna call container, and add 2 columns, column 1, column 2. Inside of the first column, we're just gonna add the logo. I think it's called Canva FC, the name of the team. Inside of the second column, we'll add the navigation because it's the navigation. And let's add a ID of top menu. It's essentially, we use the nav element to create menus. And then inside of the nav element, we create an order list, which is gonna contain many list items. We're gonna add a link, href, which is gonna go nowhere because we're only gonna focus on the home page. Let's not forget area label for accessibility purposes. And then here we're gonna add a div element. I'll let you know why. Home for the first page. And then about, let's not forget to add it over here inside of the area label for accessibility purposes. Delete this. Write it in both places. About, using proper grammar. Matches, players, news, contact us. Matches, players, news, contact us. Matches, players, players, news, and contact us. Let's open this file in Google Chrome so you can see what we've made. So we have the navigation. Let's copy the link to this image, which is right here. Open a new tab, but we don't want to save it. We just want to get the link. We go over here. Let's add the image to the source attribute. Go back, there it is. Let's not forget the Facebook, Instagram, and X social media. For this, we're just gonna add an order list. Call it ID, top, social media. And then list items, which are going to contain images. The alt attribute. And that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter. So Facebook, Instagram, and X as it's now called. And these aren't actually images, they're just icons. For that, let's go to flat icon. I'm gonna log in and search for Facebook. Download almost the smallest one. Free download. Instagram. 24 pixels, I think it's fine. And then Twitter. Which is really this one, this new logo. So let's not forget to add these logos. Inside of the images folder, let's change the name of the Facebook image just to Facebook. Let's add the images, which is inside of the assets, then images folder, then select Facebook. Do the same for the others. Instagram and Twitter. I mean, even that website doesn't change the name of the website of which is Twitter, and now it's called X. So it looks like we have everything for the header. There we go. So let's start styling it. I'm going to show you right here how to do it. Actually, let's increase the font size so you can see it better. So for the header, what was it I was going to do? No, let's select the container, display, flex, align items, center, margin, 0 auto, justify content space between, max width 1220 pixels. That's good. Let's copy it. Head over to our styles file, header container, just like that. For the second column inside of the header column 2, then we have the nav and the social media are both using an order list. So let's add also display flex. It would be great if I had align item center. Let's see what we get. Oh yeah, and I forgot to the actual column to also add display flex. As you can see, display flex or the Flexbox in CSS helps out a lot with this. There we go. Then let's also add justify content space between. What else? Let's add this background color to the header. So and let's start styling each of these. Let's start styling the menu. So select header column 2, or you know what, there's only one nav, so let's do it like that. So some things are gonna, the links are gonna have, and some other things the div element is gonna have, which is inside of each link. So let's go back to the actual website, look at the div as a transform property. Right here. Let's copy it just like that. Paste it, save it, And then let's work on the links. Obviously they're going to have a display block. What else are they going to have? Margin 20. Margin 20 pixel top and bottom. What else? Text decoration. None. Text transform. They're all uppercase links. Oh yeah, it also has a transform property. Where is it? Transform, just like here. Let's go to computed, transform. Let's move this over to the left. Copy it, paste it. Much better. And when you hover over the links, that's when they're gonna have that red background color. Oh, when you hover, sorry, I forgot to add the pseudo elements, I think they're called. So that's the 3 pseudo elements you need to use always. You can see it's added. Let's not forget this is a color white. Font size 13 pixels. And for the whole web page, we're going to use a font family of Helvetica because that comes with most browsers. It recognizes that font family. What else? Let's add a padding to the list, to the links of 5 pixels so that people don't actually need to hover exactly over the actual letters, but have a little padding to click on these links. What else is missing? The padding of these links. I think it's more than we added. Yeah, bottom 11. So what they did was add padding top 11 pixels to the left and right 15. So it's more than we added. With a line height of 22 pixels, I think they added as well. Line height of 22 pixels. Let's add that white. There's a little bit of separation. I think we need, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that works. I think obviously it's a different font family, and this is selected. So obviously we're on the home page. So if we're on the home page, it means that initially the first link, which is the home link, is going to have that active class, but it doesn't show it. So what's going on? Let's add another line of selecting whenever the link has a active class. It also adds that background color. As you can see, because we're on the home page, we need to add this background color. What else? Let's add this background color of white to the social media. They add a little bit of separation. I just saw it briefly of margin right. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Let's go to computed. Margin right 5 pixels. That's about it. So inside of the header we have column 2. No, we have the social media on order list, which has list items, and each one has a margin right of 5 pixels, but we do not want to add the margin right to the last one because it's the last one. Obviously, I'm going to use last of type, margin right 0, just like that. Did it add it? Or top social media? I did not select this correctly. There we go. It now added the margin right, as you can see. But the last one does not have it. I think they're pretty big, the images. So let's make them smaller. Let's just copy and paste this selector. Select the images. And what we're gonna do is make a width of 100%. Actually, all images should have a width of 100%. So there's no point in adding it here, but do use a max width of, let's say, 20 pixels. Theirs is on their website, it's pretty small. There we go. And let's just add a background color. But should we add it to the link, to the list item? Meaning, should I add it, to the list item or to the image? Let's do it right here. Background white. Something is wrong. Like that, that's too much. Display flex, line item center, justify content center. Does that work? Yeah, it's just the actual images are not we're gonna have problems with the size of each image because since they're, for example, the x.com image is bigger in terms of height than the Facebook one, so that's why it looks a little bit different. So we could add a special max width to each one, meaning the X one would have a max width of, let's say, 14 pixels. You see it becomes smaller. Why don't we do that? But to differentiate it, obviously, we would need to add a class of X social media, just like that. And that's selected by adding this class. So we're selecting the list item, and then we're selecting the one that has a class of X social media to be 14 pixels. Is that what I did? And then I forgot to add the background color to copy and paste it right here. Whoa. Padding of 10. Border radius to make the background circular of 50%. What's going on? They just don't look like they're in sync. what can we do? I know what we can do. Let's add to each list item. Display flex, align items center, justify content center. So they're actually centered inside of that background color circle. Let's copy this, paste it. We forgot to add the D for display. Saved it, go back. Looks much better. Looks very similar actually. And we do have that margin in between each circle. Obviously, right now we're not going to add the interactivity, that animation. Let's make them a little bit smaller. Like 14 seems fine. And if we make all images of that social media smaller, we need to make this one smaller too, of the x.com website. Let's just make it 13 pixels wide. But we need to add the spacing in between contact us and the social media. So I know there's some spacing. Let's see how much. Let's select one of these social media. And there we go. There's a margin to the left side of 15. So let's not forget to add that. We select header and the top social media. Margin left of 20 pixels. There we go. So we've now completed the header. This seems a little bit big, the logo. What max width did they give the logo? I don't think it says, but once you hover over it, or it says 124 pixels. So let's do that. So it's in column 1. Let's add it right here. Let's maintain some kind of order in the CSS file. There we go, column 1. Let's add, where it says, let's add a class of top logo. Max width 124 pixels. Class top logo, just like that. And there we go. We've now finished the header. So this was part 1 of making this website. Tomorrow I'll continue and work on the hero section, as you can see, which contains this kind of like subtitle text, the H1, the header, the H1 heading, and then another subtitle text. We have this soccer or football player on the right side, the image, and then we have a background image, and then we have the button with that animation. So it's important to recognize what HTML you're going to need to use first and then style it. So first the structure and then styling it, right? Because like we just did here, if I remove the style element, that's how it looks. So we have all the HTML right here inside of the header element. If I refresh the page, that's with the styling. So it's very important for you to start recognizing what HTML elements you're going to need and how much HTML is going to be needed for things such as these links, because they added a div around the text, and then around the div element they added a link element around it. Around that's the list item, an order list, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for tomorrow as I'll continue and work on the hero section.